9 self-care plans for the body. All of us have plans for the body. When we can incorporate a few of these 9 plans into our lifestyle consistently, we will start experiencing the benefits very quickly. And the best part of it is that most of these plans do not incur any expense, just the time and the intention to support our body. Hi, I'm Nirmala Shekhar, and over the last 1 year, I have been exploring the 5 dimensions of self-care in a map of self-care. This video is a recap of 9 separate videos exploring 9 different principles of self-care for the body. We all know water is the source of all life and that it is very important. But this story, it's a true story that happened in 1979, is truly mind-blowing. There was an Iranian doctor, and I hope I'm getting the name right, Dr. Batman Gelich, who was made a political prisoner and sent to prison in 1979. And he was a medical doctor at that time. And one of the days, a particular prisoner came to him late in the night because of intense pain in his abdomen. He was not able to go and get any medical help from the prison. And with sheer frustration, he came to this prisoner who was a medical doctor. And Dr. Batman had no access to medicine. And with sheer frustration again, he said, "All I have is water. Here, take this glass of water." And he gave him 2 glasses of water. After a while, the pain subsided. And that got the doctor thinking, and he started experimenting with nothing but tap water. And in the course of his prison stay, he helped almost 3,000 prisoners of various kinds of aches and pains and illnesses with nothing but tap water. Eventually, his prison term was reduced, and when he was told he can go back home, much to everyone's amazement, he said, "I would like to stay back and continue my research on water." He treated almost 3,000 people and wrote research papers which were published in journals. And when he was released, he continued his work researching the water's many benefits. And he put together 2 books. And let me share the names of 2 books, because whatever I'm going to share, a lot of that information is coming from these 2 books. Your Body's Many Cries for Water was his first book. And the second one was Water for Health, for Healing, for Life. You're not sick, you're thirsty. So let's meet our microbiome. We have different microbiomes, and each microbiome is engineered for specific functions, and the diversity, the kind of organisms in that microbiome is quite distinct, depending on the function that these organisms are going to be doing in that area. Firstly, we have the microbiome, which is the biggest, which is our scalp and our skin, including our nails. Each of these areas have specific microbiomes. Then we have a specialized kind of microbiome within the eye that supports the eye in its functions, and then within the ear as well. We also have the microbiome in the nose, and that leading up into the respiratory tract. In fact, the biggest, the one that we know most of is the gut microbiome, which starts in the mouth. Again, a different kind of environment, different species, different organisms. And then we have the entire digestive tract, again, different microbiomes in different inches and different areas of the digestive tract, and then ending with the anal area. Lastly, we have the microbiome in the reproductive organs and the genitals, and again, they are distinct from other microbiomes as well. So, this, in a very short nutshell, is the different microbiomes that we have, and each one of them are distinct with thousands and millions of life happening all around us, and we are not even aware that these microbiomes and microbe are functioning for our health and for our welfare. And it's a partnership. As adults, most of us are living in the mind rather than in the body. In fact, the only time we are aware of the body is when we want to focus on our appearance, or when the body sends us reminders through hunger, thirst, cravings, aches and pains, or some kind of illness. The rest of the time, we are living in our mind. And that makes movement very difficult because we are not tuned into our body. Think back to your childhood. What kind of movement did you enjoy? Children love to move their body. They delight in moving their body. They love to run, jump, skip, swirl around, climb, play. If they are walking on the pavement, they'll be walking along the borders of the pavement, on a wooden branch, on different textures. They'll be doing difficult yoga postures very effortlessly. And it's always a delight to watch children move their body. If we can bring that attitude of a child into our movement practice right now, then that movement becomes sustainable. What movement excited you as a child? And which of those movements can you bring safely to the current moment? When you bring a movement practice from your childhood to the current moment, we bring not just the movement but also the joy of that moment to the current time. And that makes it sustainable. For me, I love swinging. And from childhood till now, I think I have sustained that practice through all times, all places. People close to me know that if I find a swing, anytime, any place, I will make a detour to spend some time in that swing. And being on that swing feels very thrilling. It's not just my mind that is excited, but it's my body that delights in that movement. And when we are able to tune in and encourage that delight of the body, then that makes that movement sustainable. So we know sunlight is good for us, but how much time should we spend out in the sun? Most people advise 30 minutes spent in the sun, mostly in the morning or the evening sun. But this is not a blanket rule because there are many factors that come into play when it comes to spending time in the sun and for our body to absorb the benefits of the sunlight. So what are these factors? Firstly, our age. A younger person is better able to absorb the benefits of the sunlight at a much faster time. Older people need more time in the sun. The time of the day plays a crucial role as well. Generally, morning or evening sun is more pleasant and kinder to the body. But this is not a blanket rule. It depends on the season. In summer, morning and evening sun is much better, but in winter, the afternoon sun may be very pleasant. Again, it also depends on the latitude in which we stay. I stay in equatorial Singapore and the climate is hot and humid. So for me, the only sane time to be out in the sun is in the morning or in the evening. But if you are staying in Europe or New Zealand, the afternoon sun may be very pleasant to you. Another factor that impacts the amount of sunlight we can absorb is the color of the skin. And this is probably the only time when the color of the skin does matter. For darker shades of the color of the skin, we need more time out in the sun to be able to absorb the benefits of the sunlight. Nature has provided darker skinned people this added protection to prevent them from being exposed to the sun for longer periods and then absorbing more of the dangerous radiation of the sun. Why is a waste disposal system so important? Suppose I am moving into a partially complete home. What do you think would be most important? A fully functioning kitchen where I can cook nutritious meals, or a fully functioning drainage system? The answer is very obvious. If a home cannot dispose of its wastes in an effective manner and a timely manner, then sooner or later that home itself is going to become a waste dump. And our physical body is our home, and the same principle applies to this body as well. Most of us start our self-care journey by paying attention to nutrition. But nutrition by itself is not of much use if the body is not able to efficiently and effectively remove the wastes that it generates as part of the living process. In fact, at the root of all diseases and all health challenges is improper and incomplete elimination of the body's wastes. Six principles of good nutrition. We often ask ourselves what is good to eat, but in addition to what, let's ask ourselves these 5 questions. How much? When? Who am I being as I eat? Why am I eating? And where am I eating? All 6 questions are crucial in understanding nutrition that is good for my body. Toxins are everywhere. It's difficult to escape them. Everyone goes through trauma, either a major one or a series of minor trauma. Together, toxins, trauma, and repetitive thoughts impact our physical body and our sense of well-being. Know this, become aware of this, and approach the process of detoxification with gentleness and self-compassion. This is self-care. We all know that when we are looking after small children, somehow magically overnight they have added an inch or 2 to their heights. That is because all the major things that the body needs to do, it does when we are sleeping. What are the things that the body does while we are sleeping? Firstly, it strengthens our immune system. Today, when the immune system is under constant scrutiny, we are trying to do many different things to support and build our immune system. To that list of things, you can add good sleep. Reducing weight. We know that exercise, different forms of diet, and even fasting are all good for reducing weight. But our hormones are the ones that really make a big difference to our weight. And these hormones get balanced only when we get good sleep. Improving memory. We all know that when we were studying for our exams, we spent sleepless nights constantly studying for the exams. They may have helped the exams, but really they are doing nothing for our long-term memory. Our brain has different areas in which it stores short-term memories and long-term memories. And sleep is the time when the brain consolidates the memories and shifts them from short-term areas to long-term areas. So sleep is very vital for our long-term memories. Similarly, a good night's sleep is important to improve focus, help with our productivity, help with our creativity, and our overall health. If sleep is so important, then we need to look at our sleep hygiene and make sure that we are able to create an environment in our homes that are conducive to the sleep. Our body is constantly communicating with us, and we can start tuning into the wisdom of the body when we shift our attention from our minds and our thoughts to focusing on the body, focusing on the breath and the input coming in from the different senses, what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Doing this even for a minute or two will calm our nervous system, and with practice we can start tuning in to the deeper wisdom, deeper messages underlying our aches, pains, and discomfort in the body. Do subscribe and hit the bell button for more weekly content on self-care. And if you want even more actionable content on self-care, do join me in the Facebook group for weekly lives, discussions, and more tips.